Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Morning, friends. Welcome. It is Spira time. Although my undercoat is still drying. G'day the Gruffalo, g'day Scarabost. Hair dryer. And now the rains sweep o'er the halls, and not a soul to hear. Let's do a white, and then we might overlay some Chimera and see how we go. I am jazzed for my vampire diorama. It's coming along, but I haven't done any work on it since last weekend because I'm waiting on the last figures that I ordered. Mitchell and the an extra figure. So once I've got those, we'll probably dive heavily into that project. But in the meantime, figured let's do ourselves a little spirit walk. Yeah, the new one came out today, didn't it? Pretty cool. I'm not sure. It's more up my alley than some of the last ones, which is cool. But I'm not sure. Generally, my approach on Spiras is buy first, regret later, because inevitably I don't regret it. But the last couple I've managed to not purchase and not regret. So yeah, I may order this one though. Yeah, looks good. Just get yeah. Na, 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 na. Ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum. Feels like it's been a while since I've done some painting. It has actually been a little while because last weekend on Sunday I just built my diorama, and probably been 2 weeks because we had Queensland Model Hobby Expo and the gathering of Stone Beardians. It's been a while now since I've purchased my little. G'day, mate. Rough Turtle. Yeah, it's been a while since I purchased my little Vortex mixer. I actually think it's been more useful than I realised it would be. It was a conscious choice, mate. Yeah, conscious choice for me. I'd reached a point in my gaming career where I was just not ready to commit that time, but I didn't want to be completely removed from the hobby and my friends, so I thought I'd continue painting. And initially, my plan was to continue painting gaming figures. And I'd started with Guild Ball actually. I'd painted some Guild Ball teams to a what I at the time considered high standard. um, and then yeah, I took Meg's class, um, which was really eye opening in terms of you know what, there's a lot more I can learn here, and so that's what I did. Sort of probably, yeah, not long after that, I basically moved fully to display painting. You know, the key part was still wanting to paint stuff so I could stay connected to my friends. So, which didn't end up working, by the way. The thing that's kept me connected with my friends has actually been board games. If you ever do make that transition from gaming and tabletop to display painting, it'll be a positive change for your painting experience, because you always feel excited about painting. Nope. No, that is wonderful Chimera Green. Phthalo Green. Yeah, getting excited about your results takes a bit of time, mate. Very good advice. Very good advice indeed. I think you go through a stage as a aspiring painter where you do have jealousy or envy at other painters, and you think to yourself, man, I wish I was that good. And it's very, very rare to meet a painter who hasn't struggled and gone through many, many years of learning to get to where they are. And I think that the better you get, the less envy you have for those people. You know, my frustration or envy levels towards those great painters now is pretty much zero, because I know what they've gone through to get to where they are. So it just feels like I'm really happy to see the effort that they've put in and appreciate that. Only when you're new, I think, or when you're struggling, to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Not at the moment, mate, no. Maybe a bit later on. Just want to paint my little orc at the moment. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. The Vortex Mixer. It was a good weekend for miniature painting enthusiasm last weekend. Seeing all of the awesome Stonebeardian paint jobs made me very enthusiastic to do some painting. Nice. Do I have a highlighter? I have one at work. Yeah, don't get a vortex mixer is my advice. Absolutely one of the most egotistical purchases that I've ever made. Absolutely not worth it. Just shake the fucking bottle, you know? Like I ordered mine from Amazon, it was like $120. I thought to myself, geez, do I really need this? I ummed and ahed over it. But in the end, the reason I said I'd got it was because I said I'd buy one to the streamers. I was like, yeah, I'll buy one if I sell this fucking project. And I did sell it, so I ended up buying one. But it's good now that I've got it. I just wouldn't prioritize it over, you know, other tools that you need. Little buddy having a bark. I don't really have a plan for this color palette that I'm using here. I just decided I wanted to try some oranges and we'll see how that looks. I'm going to try a sort of a colder palette on this side, but yeah. Um, it definitely had some quick tips on how to do scars that are um, pre-sculpted. The very first one, the painting skin tones one. How long will this take me? I'm not sure. I don't expect it'll take me a massive amount of time. You know, a few days. But depending on how much I'm enjoying it, we might extend that out a bit. It takes as long as it takes, really. So Ben and Bucks and Bunny obviously came up last weekend, and we had a great time. And one of my great takeaways from that experience, looking at their figures and spending time with them, um, firstly, there really is no substitute for looking at figures in the flesh. Particularly Ben's models. I think Bunny's were really, really quite close to how they look in the flesh. It was good. Still better than they looked in the photos, I should say, but pretty close. But Ben's figures were really, really impressive and different. With a caveat, he's got to have more saturation. But they were super smooth and really, really impressive, actually. So yeah, my two takeaways were there's no substitute for seeing a model in the hand. and might need to start spending a bit more time on some figures. Oh, I think Bucks has given me a run for my money already, mate. But, and I say this with the utmost respect, that guy couldn't paint a fucking diorama to save his life. No, we talked about it. It's just it's an interesting, it's a different. I've got different focuses in my painting at the moment than trying to be good. You know, I'm trying to do projects that excites Deno as a little fella. You know, things that I was enthusiastic about as a small child. And so that means I'm not putting as much effort and energy into being good as it were. But whereas Bucks is really trying to find his feet in the display painting world and really stretching himself as much as he can. So, you know, I think at the moment he's probably technically a better painter than I am. But yeah, as I said, I'm trying to do different things to what he is at the moment. Yeah, Tui, what's happening, mate? Must be late night for you, buddy. Hey, baby Jane, what's happening? Awesome, mate. Very excited. I'm sure it will be an absolute rock and roll piece, mate. Hey, Vipertron. I think I may have caught a glimpse of it in the LXG somewhere. I feel like I've seen something that you're working on. I just did a lot of moving for my girlfriend, and it was not fun. So I commiserate with you on the joys of moving. Down the race, we pull the horse and So 15 months. Get it done. Crazy. That's such a long time. Such a crazy long amount of time. We had a talk on the Party Monday last week, which was a very fun stream if you haven't checked it out. We had a couple of painters from Melbourne up physically in my house. Yeah, we talked about Queensland Model Hobby Expo and painting and life and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, one of the takeaways that we discussed around streaming, just you've got to find that balance between streaming feeling like an obligation and painting. There's a real balance. Mate, I'll show you a couple of things. Let me zoom out for you first of all. So here is my palette and here is my little thing. So the first thing I do when I'm coming over to my palette is when I grab my paint, right, I'll whoosh the paint around, but then I'll twist the brush into a point. So a little bit of twisting. And then I come over to here and usually we'll just do a little bit more twisting here. And so that usually does most of the work to keeping it thing. But another couple of tips, you don't want to have paint all the way to the end of the thing, or the paint will dry in there and then that'll cause your bristles to splay. But honestly, it does come down to the brush. If you have bought a shit brush, it won't last a very long time. Oh, thanks BDubs83. That's very kind of you, mate. But yeah, there's a real balance when you're streaming, and Ben and Bunny are both doing some streaming as well. Just around have done some streaming, not at the moment really. Having your painting not feel like work for those painters who, hey bro, paint. Hey, good one. Yeah, you gotta send a photo though so I can send it to the team. Yeah, if it feels like work, you're less likely to do it for fun. And painting is supposed to be fun, and I bang on about enjoying sitting down at the painting table all the time. If you're not doing that, you're almost impossible likeliness to improve. Thanks, bud. B-dubs. Yeah. My Instagram has some of the bigger projects that I do on there. So, g'day, King Greg. So you may find there's some pretty wild shit. There's one that's actually behind me. You can't see it, but it's in there. That one. Oh, did I get raided? G'day, Tabletop Tyrant. Thanks for the raid, champion. Let's give you a shout out. G'day, Crip Shadow, you legend. All right, friends, you should all go follow this champion. Hey, Rocket.
Hey, mate.
I am indeed the Scaraboss says hello, Rocket. I am indeed the famous barefoot miniature painting judge, and we are about to. There's a few exciting things happening in the next few months, actually. So, the first being the Kingdom Death pin-up competition that I'll be the judge, one of the judges on. The other one, of course, being Krzysztof Kovalchuk, Red Ave miniature painter, who you should definitely follow on Instagram because he's fucking incredible. His latest piece is just ridiculous. Yeah, so we're going to be judging the not the actual official Kingdom Death one, but the one that's organised by the Kingdom Death Discord. And the intent is to live stream that judging should I be able to pull that together. Yeah, Tui, that's probably not fair, mate, but I'm the only one who's barefoot judged on camera, so probably probably you should be the barefoot judge, really, not me. Thanks for the follow, Tabletop Tyrant. Thank you. Lemon Russ talks shit. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. Yeah, so that's coming up in I think it's actually end of this month. Is when the thing ends. So I'll probably try and do it pretty soon after that. Yeah. And now the rain sweep over the whole night. So to hear. Good one, mate. Well, good luck in your match if you get there. And if you don't, that's okay. There's always tomorrow. Yes, latest Spira. It's pretty cool. I was talking earlier. I haven't been getting every Spira like I did in the past. You know, I'm a lot more selective with the models I paint these days, but that one certainly is cool. Yeah, Tabletop Tyrant. It's a honor to be asked to judge, and I try to treat it as such. So we'll actually live stream that on this channel. Assuming I can figure out the. See you, buddy. Thank you very much. Assuming I can figure out the technical side of it all, but I feel confident I can. Have I judged a lot? I've judged. Hey, Rocket. I've judged a little bit. Mostly in Australia and some online competitions. Hey, Rocket.
Hey.
Yeah, the Crystal Dragon painting competition. I've been one of the judges at that. The Crimson Brush. I've been the judge at that. I've been asked to judge several events for like tabletop armies and stuff. And yeah. Yeah, the judging transparency is just something I'm really keen on opening up. You know, we have a fantastic lot of judges, and it's a really difficult job. And I think sometimes people don't understand what judges are looking for, or you know, go into a competition and then feel disheartened about their results, but don't know how to get feedback. And so you sort of kill multiple birds with one stone by opening up that feedback. No, it's just funny because she doesn't want to be on camera. So every time she walks past, I draw attention to it. Hey, Rocket.
Hey, mate.
Yeah, Rocket is a good judge. She pulls no punches. She tells you how it is. She looks for different things to what I look for, which is good. Yeah, Tui's famous for not wearing shoes anywhere, even in the middle of winter in Monty. I am indeed judging the Crimson Brush again, yes. Actually, no, I'm not this year. I managed to find enough judges that I don't have to, which is great. Yeah, we've got Natalia coming over, which is fantastic. So she will be one of the judges, and then we've also got Dave Colwell, who is come here, buddy.
You go. I think it was like a German Shepherd.
Yep.
You go. Done your business. You can have a break. It's not hard, bud. Yeah, I know. It's harsh, but it's fair. Eat your breakfast.
Will I be? Is that your question, Paul? Will I be at those classes? At this point in time, I am intending on being at Natalia's, yes. I won't be at Meg's. Is she locked in a time for that yet? It is cold, Crypt Shadow. It's very cold. Hey, Rocket.
Hey.
Yeah, okay. I don't think she's hit me up to stay here, but I hope she does, because I'll have to clear that with Rocket. Meg's class. Meg's got a painting class apparently next October, end of October. She was supposed to do it 2 years ago before COVID when she was going to stay here. Wonder if she still thinks she's staying here. Yeah. Anyway, thanks, Sleepy Slang. Yeah, 1 a.m, mate. Go to bed, pal. Not a good time to be watching a painter. I'll have to hit her up. Yeah, really great opportunity for everyone in Australia to get Natalia judging. Yeah, we've got David and Seb, who absolutely hold their own in international worlds. But yeah, Natalia's pretty special, I think. So be good to get her insights, and hopefully, okay, Panterius, thanks, mate. Hopefully, we'll get to broadcast their discussion on stream. That's my plan, but we'll see if we can make that happen. Hey, Rocket.
Hey, mate.
Now the rains, we pull the hole. Yeah, I'll touch that. I'll discuss that with her over the next few weeks and or months. Yeah, it's a possible issue, and we won't be doing it if that's the case and she doesn't feel comfortable. Or the other option is I might step in and judge instead of her, and it just depends what we think's most valuable, or what we want to do for the event. So problem for another day anyway, put it that way. Future Trent can deal with that. Thanks, B-Dubs. Appreciate that, mate. It was a lot of fun, yeah. I enjoyed it. Yeah, Match Fixer. Indeed. Indeed. I've got some other cool dioramas coming up soon. B-dubs worth checking out anyway. All right, let's try and just soften a little bit here with a little bit of this red. Just see how that looks. Turn that down a bit. My eyes look sad today, do they? Well, I'm sorry if that's the case. It's very early in the morning. Not that early, but it's early. This PSI is about, well, it's about 15. That will do. Hey, Rocket.
Hey, mate.
It is an awesome tool. Yeah, it is. It is an awesome tool. Practice, practice, practice. Thanks, Lehman Russ. Good luck in the game, mate. G'day, Jet. Do I ever work? No, I don't normally work that high PSI unless I'm using my airbrush to just do a prime or, you know, some base coats. But the thing is, you can still do that. Oh, I just broke his glue. Oh well. You can still do that at the lower PSIs, and you just have a little bit more control. It just takes a little bit longer. So. So you may be wondering why I'm going back in and tweaking. So this is my process basically in a nutshell. Is I like to sketch out everything and then refine, and I can refine with the airbrush. Sometimes I'll just refine with the brush. Yeah, it's just a back and forth iterative process that we don't really worry too much about reaching finished here. Yeah, this is just water. I just find it really convenient to just grab it from here instead of going all the way over here. All right, Rocket. Yeah, cool.
Right, you ready, buddy? Sit down.
Yeah, if you get used to the airbrush, you can use it for so many things. It's really, really useful. But there's that pretty steep learning curve on the fact that there's no tactile response. That's the thing that I think gets people really struggling. When you have a brush, you feel that brush touching the model, and you get that sense of connection. Whereas with an airbrush, you don't have any sense of connection. You just have spray and hope. And that's the part that often does people's head in, because you often don't know you've gone too far or too heavy until it's too late. So g'day Frosty, thanks mate. Yeah, I'm glad it's been useful. It's a lot of fun to do, paint the models. And yeah, I if you haven't seen, I did a video series for some figures on a board game called Oathsworn, and I tried to go a little bit more in depth on that than sort of most other board games tutorials. I think there's a little bit more of an advanced sort of approach to painting, and I think unfortunately some people were a little annoyed about that because it was probably a little more advanced than what they were hoping for. But yeah, at the same time, I hope it's inspired some other people to try some different techniques. So I can almost, I won't say exactly the same, but I can almost get to the same level of detail with an airbrush as I can with a brush, Tui. So it's just a matter of understanding the tool and understanding how you can use it, when you can use it, which is all the time. Thanks, Paul. Awesome. That's really good feedback to hear, mate. I appreciate that. I'm not gonna do too much on the face because I want to do like a Urukai handprint on his face. So I think that'll be fun, and where I'll probably put most of my effort. One of my things I've noticed about my work versus like Bucks and Ben's is I tend to go too uh, too broad in some of my highlight areas. So I'm just trying to make a conscious effort to not have as broader highlights on this, leaving some dark elements in there as well. Oh, thanks, Tui. It's still very much aimed at painters that have access to just the basic tools. There's a lot of a discussion on how you can replicate things without an airbrush, even though I do showcase some airbrush techniques in there. So, no, I wasn't teasing. I'm pretty bad at self-promotion, actually. Nope. Nope, I was not. And that is because I didn't want to be. I wasn't doing that to get paid. Just wanted to make some videos. They were obviously very excellent people, and I discussed it with them. And the only thing that I got out of it was the models, just the models, not the game, a little bit early. And when I say a little bit, I mean about 2 weeks. It actually wasn't that much at all. Just by the time we figured out how to do it all and everything like that. So I ended up having the models 2 weeks before I got the game. I'm up to chapter 5 in that, by the way, friends. It's going really well. I'd like to be further ahead, but every week we have some different challenges. So, oh yeah, I've got a game to talk about this week. That's exciting. Yeah, we played a new game this week, which is a very good one that I'm excited about. It's called Dwellings of Eldervale. A very cool game. Yeah, I mean, technically, they actually weren't even free, really, because I bought the whole all in of the Kickstarter, so I didn't get anything that I wasn't already getting anyway. But yeah, it was cool. It was a good experience. I enjoyed it. I will happily promote the shit out of their game. And there's possibility in the future of, if there's other games in the future that I might get access to some models in advance to maybe do some actual like display level stuff for Kickstarter pages and what have you. But yeah, nothing concrete, nothing in stone, and it was just an opportunity for me to paint some cool figures. That's all. That's all I wanted it to be. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Ta, 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 wee, wee, way. Weary on my way. In the valley, quiet valley, the lion sleeps tonight. Thank you, mate. A little on the highlighted orc's right lower arm. This one here. And this shape. Well, so what I'm sort of trying to feel out at the moment is the light, the color of the light's coming from this sort of direction here. And so we've got a highlight in this volume, and then we've got a highlight in this volume, but this is going to come under shadow, and that's where, this light is coming from. So we're going to have sort of this area in highlight, this area in highlight. But I wanted to, create some more interesting shapes in the skin, for no reason at this stage. We'll see if it ends up looking any good or not. But I'm trying to create some, I guess, almost non-metallic metal highlights on the skin with some little, bouncing lights and no idea. Surely you've figured out by now too that I just paint. Just paint stuff. See how it comes out. Oh, look how little buddy's back. Let's walk. Let's see if we can get him up on screen. Hey, buddy! Hey! 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 How was your walk, little man? I might get some yellow. Ooh, purulent yellow. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Duckman needs some H2. Oh yeah.
He did try and get me to let him eat some vomit.
Ah, a bit of vomit, buddy. Yum. Oh, well, you're no fun. When are you going to come over to Australia? Hey, Rocket, and teach some classes, Tui? You can go barefoot around here whenever you want, mate. Never gets cold enough to worry about wearing shoes.
Ugh.
All right, I might just do something that I always recommend other painters do. Which is just block in some of the other areas. No, that's okay, mate. One of the things you learn very quickly about streaming is you've put yourself in the spot. You got to be able to answer those questions and think on the fly, or yeah. You alright?
I've got allergies.
Hey, Rocket.
Hey.
What are your allergies from, you reckon? Spring has sprung.
Are you gonna eat this sausage today?
Nah. Are you?
I was gonna ask you for breakfast.
Yeah, go.
I might put it in an omelette.
Wow. Sausage and egg omelette.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talk about this a lot, friends, but it's really hard to assess a color independently by itself without having the other areas filled in. You know, this little thing that I'm playing around with now, this little ball, because it was all similar tonalities and colors to the orc, the airbrush, and from the highlights. It's really hard to assess what's actually happening with the lights. So fill that in, and you get a much better perspective on whether your skin tone has enough value, whether you're have enough focus in certain areas, if your color palette's going to work. Cool, mate. Well, hit me up, my friend, when that moment comes around, because I am the one who usually plans and executes most of the workshops over here for international payments. So let me know. We'll go a little bit of this. Put some of these in. Okay, let's go. Yeah, fantastic idea. Yeah, we're just going through obviously Natalia's classes and all that sort of preparation at the moment, and she's managed to sell out 4 classes, it looks like. Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, and Sydney again. So you know, that's usually enough to cover the cost of most of your flight, most of your sort of expenses, and then even have some leftovers. Yeah, if you could also combine Singapore into that, you'll be laughing. Uh, yeah, no, it's good for her. Nothing to do with me, mate. All to do with her. All right. Yeah, so we definitely need to get a little bit more light. G'day, Charlene Ivory Guardian. Welcome. Thank you. This has only just been started today, so we're still in the very preliminary stages of what it's going to look like. But it's a nice start, I think. Yes, but I don't take too much credit for organising something, mate. That's the easy part. Natalia's got to do the hard part, which is actually teach the classes. Well, I feel like Colwell. Look at me with all my stipples and dots. Just start calling me Dave Colwell. Cool. Every now and then you need a shake up. You need to have something new and making yourself feel a bit uncomfortable. It's good. A important step in the learning process. Get into the zone of learning. Right, I just feel like I want to do this. How am I missing out? You didn't offer to make me one. You weren't like, hey, do you want some of this? Well, you assumed correctly, but you can't then turn around and go, suck shit, you're missing out. You're saying I'm really good looking. Thanks, Rocket.
That's not.
Everyone heard it, it's on stream. Rocket thinks I'm good looking. And now the rains. Hey, Rocket. We pause and not a soul to hear. this whole process that I'm going through right now and building up all of the hey Rocket, all of the highlights and values and so forth. This is a back and forth process. Yeah, sometimes you might be like, oh, I need to add a little bit more, or I need to tone that down a bit. And it's also a good time to experiment and try some different approaches that you may not have taken before. Hey Rocket. And we may be able to soften some of this sketching with a little bit of airbrushing. But we may not actually. We may keep this a little bit rough. It feels very orky. What I think I want to add is some more colors into the shadows though. So yeah, so he's one of the best, mate. One of the best people. Well worth the price of admission. So we'll do an Urukai handprint on his face, which would be fun. And it'll then be fun to do that transition from light to dark, I think. So let's just make sure we got the light right. So I feel like this bit should be more in light. Maybe this bit right here. Come here, buddy. Hey. All right, do I want to add some pinkish tones into this skin? Maybe I do. Maybe I do. Some pale flesh or something, maybe. Hmm. Hey, buddy. Hey, you alright? There's just something fun about painting Spira's friends. Spira Sunday. Can't go wrong. It is, mate. It's a hike. I don't know that many European painters realise how big a deal it is when we make the hike over. It's a fucking long way. All right. Just blocking in some colours and some elements so that we can get a bit better sense on all of the values and what have you. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly more expensive now than it was. You know, we were a little cheaper than that, than what you're looking at now. But yeah, it's a hike. Reaching the end of the journey at Monty is about about that time when you're ready to go home. So it's good. Hey, little man. Did you have a good time barking? So the longest trip I've ever done was to a Warhammer um, tournament. It was the European Team Championship, so it's a pretty big tournament. But and so the flights that I took, they started in Brisbane and went to Sydney. So that's an hour and a half flight. Um, I met some friends at the Sydney airport, and then from Sydney we flew Sydney to Hong Kong. So that's about 7 hours, I think, off the top of my head. And then from Hong Kong, so far, yeah, I had about a 3 hour wait before that second flight. So then we went Sydney to Hong Kong, and then we went Hong Kong to London. So all up, I think I was at about 25 hours of travel by this stage. Then we got on a bus, and on the bus, we travelled from Heathrow Airport to Stansted. So Stansted's at the north, whereas Heathrow's in the heart of London, or just off to the west. And so then when we got to Stansted, we got a flight to Germany into, I think it was Frankfurt. It was either Frankfurt or like Dortmund. And so we then, that was only like a 45-minute flight. So we landed there, and then we got a hour and a half cab ride to get to this very small university town called Munster, which is in fact where the convention was held. So I was traveling for 40 hours, with no actual genuine rest, until we got to there. And when we got there, it was very hot, and the rooms that we stayed in had no air conditioning. And so we were having a rough time. It was a wonderful experience. Wonderful experience. Yeah, it was there was about seven of us, I think, or six. No, there was five of us that did that whole leg, but we met up with another group of five that had done a different leg, and it was pretty awesome. All of the War Machine and Warhammer overseas trips that I did were quite special. You know, those people are the friends that I have made along the way. In the valley, the quiet valley, the lion sleeps tonight. In the valley, the quiet valley, the lion sleeps tonight. You lead me on the way. You lead. All right, friends. Well, it's 1:45 hours of streaming, so we're probably going to aim for about 2 hours today. So no. Excuse me, friends. Hey, here you go. Come here. Hey, come here. Hey, come here. Thanks for defending us. Thanks, buddy. The little man's got to defend the homestead. Well, funnily enough, the following year, we flew into Frankfurt. No, we flew into Munich, and we drove from Munich to Munster. It was a 10-hour car ride, and it was awesome. Hey, Top. Thanks, buddy. All right. So what I might do now is just bring a little bit of cold light into that cloak thing. And then I might add some of the wonderful contrast paints into that experience. Let's see how that feels. Yeah. Driving across Europe is a wonderful, wonderful experience that I think everyone should try and do once in their lifetime if they have the ability to do so. Yeah, it's just gives you a very big appreciation for nature. Driving around Australia, less so, because it is, in fact, just very flat and orange. Will have a wonderful appreciation for how flat and orange it is. Do 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 do. Now it just goes blue. Yeah, the Autobahn is pretty cool compared to Australia. No, I'm being facetious a little bit. Australia's not all flat and red. There's some nice areas, but the one thing that you notice when you drive around Europe is just how green it feels. Australia's just not green. Red dirt and little grubby trees and stuff. Just a different world. That's awesome, Paul. Yeah, Paul. Oh. Tassie is pretty special actually. I'll separate Tassie from the rest of Australia because my girlfriend and I visited there. What was it now, Rocket? 4 years ago we went to Tassie.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was blown away by Tassie. We drove all through there. It was just awesome. Yeah. So just draw your attention to, and let me turn the value down a little bit. Yeah, just draw your attention to the different texturing of strokes in the fur versus the skin. You know, we're trying to really put a different texture into that so that it feels like a different element. So the two things don't feel like the same type of surface. Trying a little bend. Interesting. Don't think so. Just something I observed in his works that was very, very well rendered. I don't think he invented texture, Topulus. Come on now. Let's be ridiculous. Yeah. Tasmanians aren't really Australians, but we don't consider them Australians. That's a little joke for my best friend who lives in Tasmania. If he ever gets around to watching this, which I'm sure he won't. Fire up, Topulus. Fight me, mate. Fight me. Fight me IRL. Alright, good. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, we've all got two heads. That's a running gag in Australia that Tasmanian people have two heads because they're inbred because they live in a little island. Mostly not the case. Mostly. Let's move into a little pinkish mouth. A little bit pinkish. Uh, Classic. Does that mean I also need to do this sort of approach on the belly, I wonder? And now the rains weep upon, and now sorrowful to fear. An anonymous cheerer, 1. Thank you, buddy. Have not started the new series. Rocket started it and thought that it was a bit average. I am yet to give it a crack. I will probably wait until a few more episodes are released and then give it a go. I have started She-Hulk though. I've enjoyed She-Hulk quite a lot actually. Quite fun. You know, it's weird the Marvel shows that don't have as much of a tie into the existing IP have just been smash hits for me. The only one that's really fallen down a little on reflection on rewatch has been well, Falcon and Winter Soldier and Hawkeye were both merely okay. WandaVision was the best, I think, the best of them. Loki's very good. But yeah, like Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk. They've just all been awesome. Wonder if that means the hands need to be like that as well. They do. They do, Deno. You need to do the hands like that. Yeah, Moon Knight was killer. And then, yeah, Ms. Marvel, I enjoyed that. That was a really good series. Yeah, well, as someone who's not really experienced her in the comics, hasn't really read anything to do with the comics for Ms. Marvel, I wasn't really any the wiser about the change until after I did some research on her character after the series, and after I went and bought the Ms. Marvel character pack from Marvel Champions, and I was like, wow, she's just got stretchy arms and stuff. They're cool. Yeah, I've heard a lot of great things about Lightyear. Yeah, I watched a couple of Disney films actually in the last little while. We watched Encanto the other day, which was a really fun movie, and then we also have watched Enchanted recently, which is one of my all-time favorite Disney movies. Amy Adams in it. Yeah, I'm just a fiend for Disney. I can't get enough. And I just can't get enough. Boy, I think about it every night and day. And I just can't get enough. G'day, Unexplained Miniatures. What's happening? Unexplained has decided to try and organise a painting competition in wherever he's from. Some country that isn't Australia. Canada, maybe. And I believe he's calling it the Emerald Brush as an homage to the great Crimson Brush. My experience with Canada is actually quite limited. I've never been there. My mum and dad went there and they loved it. It's sort of on the list of places I'd like to go, but haven't been. Maybe one day. Hey, Dave. I'll come judge. The Spira one, buddy. Spira Goblin. Saw Bucks's in the flesh and Benny's in the flesh the other day. If that's the one. Awesome. It's such a cool figure. Yeah, beautiful. Well, mate, we're currently calling Spira Sundays. Spira Sundays. Which is just an excuse to paint Spira models on a Sunday, so you're fitting right in. Top, I like it. It is gotten on my list of I might buy that, which is cool. Because as you know, I've sort of been not not cold, gone cold on Spiras, but just it's not fitting into the types of figures I want to paint. So I appreciate the figures, and I'm like, wow, this is an awesome figure, but it's not one that I want to paint. So, but this one is maybe going to break that a little. is cool. Okay, let's go. So this is probably getting close to the end of the stream. So good start. Good start for the first 2 hours on this figure. I am pleased. I may just do a little bit of airbrushing, I think. Just to gonna airbrush some contrast paints. I need to put some Volupus pink into the skin, I think. Volupus pink, my favorite color. Yep, that's how I've kind of felt, mate. Well, this one's obviously one that I've got. Thanks, Aria Goldberry. I just like fantasy figures, like what I normally like to paint, right? And whilst I appreciate Lucas's style and on what he wants to sculpt, and I'm supportive of him sculpting whatever the hell he wants to sculpt, I just want to paint stuff that aligns with how I like to paint. So, or the subjects I like to paint, rather. So, thank you, Aria Goldberry. I have been painting for quite a while. This type of painting, it's probably been about 5 or 6 years. So yeah, he's obviously sculpting stuff that he wants to sculpt, and he's obviously got a market for it. But the reason I paint soldiers is because it's like, what would little Deno like? Or what would little Deno think's cool? And I just get to do what little Deno was excited about. So let's do a little bit of some of my favorite colors. Maybe just have a little play with these two, actually, a blue and an orange. Just magic mix, buddy. Yeah, just this stuff, the Joe Sonia Magic Mix. It's very good. G'day, Dubwegian. Thanks for the follow. It is great. It is great. We live in a very fortunate time when miniature painters and sculptors can make this a career. Hey, Nurgle Matthew. Which Ivan model's that, Dave? Yeah, what it to summarize my process, Tui, in a nutshell, it's over contrast and then under deliver. Tone it down. So that was always the plan. We'll then probably cool. We'll then probably work in some more highlights back in, but yeah. Let's try just a little bit of this. See if this feels right. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. See you, Dave. Talk soon. Just gonna try something. G'day, Yab. Yeah, I was Mad King Warhammer player, mate. Played for years and years. I don't know that I've got any interest in it these days. That's not because I don't love the lore or the armies or anything like that. It's just such a big commitment of time. You know, the time that you spend building armies, painting armies, assembling lists, and then even just playing a game. You know, that's such a long time. And these days my time is spent doing things like painting different models and building big dioramas and playing board games, and I don't know, I just don't have that interest in committing that much time to it. Which isn't to say that I wouldn't play a game if someone was like, hey man, do you want to come and play with my thing? I probably would. Probably have a good time. But no, I can't see myself getting back into it personally. All right. I think I am going to call it a day there and just mull over everything, maybe do a little bit more painting today. But then I am indeed back tomorrow for some more painting on Party Monday. It will be the same bat channel, the same place as you'll always find me on a Monday, between 6:30, 7 o'clock my time, which I don't know what time that is for most people. For the Americans, it's pretty much 1 o'clock in the morning, I think, depending on where you are in America. For the Europeans, it's usually about 9 a.m. Again, depending on where you are. So we will no doubt continue with this figure then. Oh, g'day, Taka. Thanks, mate. Thank you, Yab. Thank you. Yes, should be a wonderful Sunday full of relaxing, and I don't know, actually. I might play some Marvel Champions. Let's see if I can convince my girlfriend to play a game of Marvel Champions with me. Cool. Cool. What a fun model. Spirit Sundays, alive and well. I wish I was doing ASMR. Awesome. All right, let's just have you look. Yeah, he's pretty fun. He's pretty fun. And we'll dive more into this side some point. But yeah. All right, let's go find someone we can raid. You guys not a fan of the raiding? Thanks, Tops. Let's turn this bad boy on. Boom. And see who we can chase down. It's always good fun. Oh, Enie's painting some mammoth head. See you, Paul. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. What about we just tag Warhammer? What do we got going on here? No, not that much. I think we'll raid Enie.
Yes, mate.
Yeah, it's a bust. Let's go raid Enie Minis.
No, I have to get it done. Yep. A bit of 3 commissions. I mean, what's stopping you? Do you want to still or not?
Hello, Rexa. Thank you. Yeah, we do some fun stuff. I've got quite a lot of different things that I paint on here. All right, friends, I'm back tomorrow, so I look forward to catching you then, and we'll continue painting this cool guy. So, Big Dano out. I'll see you soon.